We're having a partial solar eclipse in Virgo right now as I speak. And the question I have to ask you is, what are you ready to move on from? Better yet, what are you not ready to move on from? Because this is what this eclipse is going to bring up. Although it's a new moon and we think new moons are a good time to set intentions, this is actually an eclipse for releasing and purging and letting go. A massive release is going to happen during this time, but you have to be careful that it's not an unhinged release, if that makes sense, because there's a lot of emotion and a lot of energy in the air, and I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I want to burn everything to the ground. I want to burn every bridge with every single person I know, and that's a bit dramatic. So we have to make sure that we're doing it with care and with integrity. We have Saturn opposing this eclipse, which is the planet of hard work, responsibility, discipline. It's all about doing things the right way, not the fast way, and acting from a place of wisdom and logic instead of our impulse emotions. If we're really angry at something and we end something based on anger, it's not going to serve us at this time. We have to wrap things up nice and neat and beautiful, which is what Virgo likes doing. It's a bit of a perfectionist, so it's wrapping up all the details that we've been ignoring for a really long time. Responsibilities you've been avoiding will come up during this time. All the limits that you've placed on yourself and the consequences of that is going to come into your awareness now. You're going to realize how much you've been holding yourself back through your own limits, through restricting yourself. And this is a South Node eclipse. Virgo is the South Node, and North Node is the new chapter that we're heading into in our soul evolution. That's in Pisces. Now, the shadow side of Pisces energy is that it's all about fantasy and dreaming and escaping reality and avoiding and ignorance. Now, this eclipse is going to be hard for a lot of us because it's going to be bringing us the reality check that we have been avoiding and not wanting to face for a really long time. And I say a really long time because Saturn is opposing this eclipse. Saturn is in Pisces right now, and it's only dipping its toes into Pisces, and it's heading into Aries, and it's not going to be here ever again. This is one of the last major activations of Saturn in Pisces. Now, Saturn in Pisces has been here since March 2023 to May 2025. Now, I want you to have a look at what happened during that window. What have you not sorted out yet? What have you not wrapped up? What have you been avoiding, telling yourself, oh no, it's fine, it's sorted, it's healed, it's over, and now I'm just going to plunge into this new chapter. I'm going to follow my dream, and I'm going to totally avoid this area of my life that I haven't sorted yet. I'm just going to ignore it and hope it just disappears, because that's what Pisces does. We'll just ignore it. We'll just pretend it's not there, or we'll dream in fantasy land over here. But that's not how this is going to work. For you to step into your dream life, which is where Pisces is helping us go, like through our intuition, through our imagination, through our dreaming, we're going to reach our dream life. The thing that no one talks about, that's the fun bit, the imagining. But no one talks about the hard shit of actually having to deal with all the stuff that's holding us back, all the limitations, all the strict restrictions and the limiting beliefs, all our past pain, our trauma, all the things that are burdening us is stopping us from getting to our dream life. And this is what this eclipse is going to bring up, because it's the South Node. It's bringing up stuff from the past for us to finally shed and release and let go so we can actually get to our dream life. You can't just dream and imagine the whole time and expect the hard stuff and all the heavy pain and all the mess that happened in the past couple of years. We're just going to ignore it and it'll just hopefully just disappear on its own. That is not what's going to happen with this eclipse. We will not be able to escape this. We will not be able to be blind like Pisces and just close our eyes and go la-di-da, we'll just stay in fantasy land in the dream world, because the reality of things is too hard for me to face. The fears, the resentment, the trauma, the pain, the guilt, the grief, whatever it is that you've been avoiding, oh no, I'm just going to ignore it and I'm just going to stay in fantasy land. That is not how you get to your dream life. You are going to have to face your fears and your responsibilities and your obligations and the burdens. You're going to have to face them head on. And if you don't, you will not be able to move forward. And that is the hard lesson of this eclipse. with this Saturn opposition. Saturn's all about hard lessons, but it is a blessing that Saturn is here because we have to shed this stuff or we'll never get to this dream life. It will just be a dream. It will just be this fantasy in our minds. We'll never actually live it unless we shed and release what needs to be released. So with Saturn in the mix here, we cannot avoid the hard work and the hard effort that it takes for us to get to our dreams. This is the reality check that sucks and hurts and we hate it and we have to face all the shit that we've been avoiding for the past couple years or even decades or even lifetimes. We're going to have to face all of it, but there's a reward at the end of that, right? It's an unburdening of all the unnecessary hardship that you've been through. And you're not going to carry that with you after this eclipse. The goal is for you to shed it now. So after this eclipse season, I don't want you walking forward with any of this pain and limiting beliefs and traumas weighing you down. This is a really big shed. This is a really big release. This is a very, very important eclipse. I think it would be like the most important eclipse of this year, but as well as next year as well, because Saturn in Pisces was such a long transit, 2-year transit, and this is the last activation of Saturn in Pisces. It's giving us that one last hard lesson in this area of our life where we need to stop pretending, stop escaping, stop shutting our eyes because we're avoiding the pain and we're avoiding the reality because it's too hard. We're going to learn that we can actually face reality and we can actually get through it and we can heal from this without avoiding and ignoring it. It's going to be an empowering and liberating experience, but it's not going to feel like that right now because this is just dredging up all the stuff that we've been hiding and digging deep and suppressing. This is not going to be easy. This is not going to be a quick fix because Saturn's not about that. It's not going to be this effortless release. It's not going to be this thing that just sorts itself out on its own without us having to do anything. We're going to have to step it up, take responsibility, face it head on, and do the work to get out of it. Do the work to get out of our stuckness and get the energy moving ourselves. If you feel like your life has been stuck and stagnant, this eclipse is going to get the energy moving with you. This is actually a supportive energy. Although it doesn't feel like that right now, it feels really shitty and really hard, and it's going to be really upsetting. There's going to be a lot of things we have to let go and move on from that we thought we didn't have to. And we thought we didn't have to face. We thought we could just ignore it and we could just keep moving forward without dealing with this thing, whatever it is for you. And it's going to come up and it's going to be a shock and it's going to be that reality check and that slap in the face that the universe always does around eclipse season. But it is all serving a purpose and it is helping us get to living our dream life instead of just wishing and dreaming and fantasizing about it. This is about making it happen because Saturn is the planet that brings the reality check to help you physically manifest that dream into reality. That is Saturn in Pisces. It's a conflicting energy because Pisces is the imagining and Saturn is like the real. It's all about reality, but when you merge them both, it's beautiful because we can imagine something and then with Saturn's help, do the steps and do the work, take action, physical action to actually make it manifest into our reality. So also this eclipse is on the last degree of Virgo, 29 degrees of Virgo, which is called the anaretic degree. It's a very special degree. It's the last degree before it clicks over. And this is a degree of, again, moving on, releasing, letting go, purging, shedding. So that's going to be a really big theme right now. But it's a very volatile energy. So that's why I'm feeling like I want to burn everything to the ground because I'm feeling this release energy, but I don't really know what to do. And I just want to burn it all because I think that's easier than facing the reality that Saturn's bringing into my life right now. But knowing astrology, I know that I have to do this the right way and not the fast way, and there is no quick fix to it. But this 29 degree is helping us. It's a time of transition, and it's not a time of setting new intentions. We are just riding the wave of seeing where the universe is wanting to take us right now because it's not going to be where you think. It's a transition. It's going to be a pivot off course of what you think the course of your path is going to be, because the reality check is probably going to come in that whatever you're dreaming your dream life to be right now, there's some reality points that you've been ignoring and avoiding, and it's going to come up now. And with Saturn retrograding into Pisces during this time, it's only going to be here for the next couple months, and then in 2026 it's going into Aries for good. So this is the final degrees of Pisces as well. So it's that anaretic degree, it's the degree of release and letting go and unexpected changes and pivots and transitions that are coming in. But with Saturn, it's all about boundaries. And in Pisces, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's the merging, it's the dissolving of everything. It's the fantasy, imagining, dream world. That Saturn in Pisces, in the last degrees, gives us the ability to create boundaries, but also dissolve boundaries that are no longer needed. But we need to use our discernment, which is Virgo, the opposite sign. We're going to need to use our discernment to figure out which boundaries serve us and which boundaries we need to let go of, which I talked about in the last eclipse video. But this is really about reinforcing necessary boundaries and dissolving the ones that no longer serve, dissolving the ones that are limiting you. There are certain barriers that you need to create and certain barriers that you need to dismantle and dissolve. And the ones that are limiting you and restricting you and holding you back from the mystery and the magic of life, which is where Pisces, the North Node, is heading. It's heading to a very magical, intuitive, spiritual, otherworldly kind of future for us. But we need to dismantle some of these barriers that are fear-based barriers holding us back from actually experiencing that magic and experiencing that dream life from actually coming true. And a part of this dismantling is taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for the hard stuff that you've been through, the role that you had to play in those events and those situations and meeting those certain people, or whatever trauma or pain that happened back then. You need to take responsibility for your part, for the way you acted or for the way your role had to play in it in some way. Because, and this is not me saying it's all your fault, but there is definitely a way that you handled the situation, a way that you reacted and responded that has created a certain belief about who you are, it's created a certain story of who you are and what you're capable of and what your future is going to be like. And we need to dismantle that story so you can believe that your future will be better than your past. We need to see where we built a cage instead of a foundation for us to actually build from and evolve from. And a lot of stories we have in our minds right now are very limiting, very restricting, and not actually the ultimate truth. And it's not going to serve us if we keep carrying those stories forward with us. We actually can't get to our dream life that we're heading towards right now if we're still carrying that stuff. And this is why this is going to be a hard eclipse, because a lot of stuff is going to come up about our limiting beliefs and what we believe to be the truth of our situation, of our past, of our trauma, of who we are, of what we're capable of what type of dream we're calling in. A lot of this stuff is going to change, and we're going to have to reframe it so we're not carrying any fear-based stories, any blame, any resentment with us, because that's not serving us to get us to the magic that's coming. And that is where the North Node in Pisces is taking us in the next year and a half of the North Node in this sign. We're going to a much more intuitive and spiritual and magical place. But we need to let go of this fear-based, limiting, kind of egoic human emotions for us to be able to get there. We're going to see the Pisces shadow of ourselves, which is where we just neglected to deal with the situation, where we just completely ignored it and avoided it. All our vices are going to come up, all our addictions, our obsessions, the normal way that we used to deal with things, all our coping mechanisms, our protective mechanisms, all of that's going to come up now of like, what do you do when this hard reality check hits, when this pain, this certain pain that I'm talking about, this certain trauma that you've been avoiding for so long, what do you normally do to avoid it and ignore it and disassociate from it and escape it? Is the Pisces shadow in you, and that is what's going to come up now. And we're going to, with Saturn in Pisces, we're going to realize that we have to take responsibility. We have to sit with it. We have to face this stuff head on and deal with it. We have to do the hard work. We have to learn the hard lesson, because Saturn is about to move out of Pisces and it's not coming back. So this is your last chance to learn the very hard life lesson, but it's going to serve us in the long run. And that is what Saturn's all about. It's all about the long haul. It's all about the long run. It's all about the sustainable but hard lessons. This is shaping you to be the person you need to be able to hold that dream that you have in physical reality. So all this hard stuff that you're going through, all the emotions that are bubbling up during this time, I know it's hard, and I'm going through it too, and I've been crying heaps during this eclipse. This has hit me so hard, but it is going to serve us to be able to embody the person that we need to be to attract this dream life and make it a reality, and face the reality of the steps that we need to take and the things we need to shed and the things we need to purge and let go of. That this stuff can't just be hanging around in the background or in the back of our minds or in the back of our hearts, and just we think that we can move from this place. We can't. We need to shed it. We need to make space and make ourselves lighter, like let go of the burden, let go of the pain and the grief and that trauma, that limiting belief, that limiting story of who you are and where you're going, because something is opening up so much bigger than you can possibly imagine. It's going to be very grand and out of this world with the North Node in Pisces, and it's going to be very unexpected, because that's what the eclipse is all about. Your plan is never going to go to plan. So it's about just opening yourself up and releasing some of those restrictions. Because this South Node's in Virgo, Virgo is the sign of perfectionism and this is right and this is wrong. This is what I'm doing. This is not, like, this is what I'm allowed to do. This is what I'm not allowed to do. And it's very black and white, logical, right and wrong type of mindset. But we're having to release that and shed that as well. What's right and what's wrong? What's out of character for you? What are things that you're not allowed to do? What are things you're not allowed to express? We are shedding that now to step into a more evolved, more expressed, more full version of ourselves, the fullness of who we are, the richness of who we are, of our soul that wants to express itself in an infinite number of ways. You are not limiting or restricting yourself anymore. This eclipse is going to bring up everything that is limiting you, everything that is restricting you, everything that's suffocating you and keeping you down. And most of the stuff, by the way, is stuff you're holding down on yourself, and you're going to have to shed that and let it go. So basically we have to face all the things that we didn't want to face head on, and we have to take a look at everything that's holding us back, including ourselves, everything that's stopping us from moving on and creating the dream life that we want for ourselves. And this eclipse is almost forcing your hand and making you realize, I have to let this go. I have to move on. If you really want that dream, if you really want to step into a new version of yourself, which is, you're going to be forced to do it, whether you like it or not. So you get to choose whether you get pulled kicking and screaming, or whether you just trust and surrender and fall into the hands of the divine, fall into the arms of the universe right now and let it carry you. Because this shedding is painful shedding, but it's a powerful reset, and it's the breakthrough that you need to be able to get to where you want to be, to be able to become the person you want to become. You need to go through this stuff. And Saturn is called the malefic planet in astrology, and I think that's bullshit. It's just the hard planet. It gives us hard life lessons, but it's actually the biggest teacher, and it leads us to the biggest blessings. So right now, this is the time to start setting up good foundations for your future. Not barriers, not restrictions. We're dissolving everything that's burdening us, everything that's limiting us, everything that's restricting us from moving on. We're creating a foundation to build from and to create from. There's something new that we're wanting to build. There's something new that we're moving into, and our soul desires and it wants it, and we have to let go of the restrictions and the burdens and the old identities and the old stories that are telling us we can only live life this certain way. Because Virgo is very strict with itself. It's like, no, I can only live it like this, and it's black and white and yes and no and right and wrong, and this is the only way I can express, this is the only way I can live. We're having to shed all of that because our soul desires something new. It wants something new now because the North Node this year is in Pisces. It's the magical, intuitive, spiritual sign that we're seeing the signs of what type of future we're going to live during this eclipse season, because we had a Pisces eclipse 2 weeks ago. We're seeing signs of what is coming, but it doesn't look that good right now, right? Because we're seeing all the stuff in the way of our dreams. We're not seeing the dream in coming into our reality yet. We're just seeing all the stuff, and we just think, oh my God, how can I get through this? How is life going to get better? Because I'm just dealing with all my trauma, and all my past stuff is coming up right now, and all this anger and grief and all these heavy emotions. It's just a mess, but it's coming up for you right now. And once we move that out of the way, which is the purpose of this eclipse, we're going to move that aside, let it go, release it. We're not going to carry it with us anymore. Then the dream picture will present itself. And that takes trust and it takes surrender. And that's also a Pisces trait that we're moving more into now. It's not about Virgo qualities or archetype anymore of logically planning and thinking and strategy and all that. It's believing and trusting and surrendering and feeling our way into our future. We're heading there, but this eclipse is just showing us the shit in the way, and once we move it, we'll get there. But we can't get there without first taking care of the earthly things, without first taking care of the reality of the situation, the reality of the trauma or the pain or the limiting belief, and like being real with yourself of like, oh yeah, shit, that's actually really holding me back in my life. It's been holding me back for years. I actually can't be the person I want to be with that mindset or with that belief still in my mind. I actually know I need to let it go to be able to get to this new future, if that makes sense. So the Saturn opposing this eclipse is actually a huge blessing. It's not going to feel like that right now, but it's giving us a chance to rebuild. It's giving us a chance to take a look at the big picture of our life, because eclipses don't just flip one area of your life upside down, it flips your entire life. And so this is a big change, big transition, big pivot in all areas of your life, I'm saying, because it feels so strong for me that we need to see the shitness as just temporary. It's coming up, and this is the energy right now. This eclipse energy is supporting us in letting it go and moving on and releasing. So although you need to take responsibility and you need to sit with the hard stuff and you need to face it head on and you need to look at the burdens that have been weighing you down for so long and consciously let it go, it's not going to just disappear on its own, and that's hard work. You will get rewarded for it, and this is a chance to rebuild, and see it in that way when you're really struggling. Like, this is the path I'm on. This is the steps I need to take to get to my dream life. I need to get rid of all this stuff in the background that's holding me back, and all the beliefs that are telling me I can't do it or I can't get there or I can't make it. We're letting that go now. This is a time of completely cleaning the slate, and that is hard and that is painful, but it's also beautiful and incredible and amazing. And the making space process of that, you'll be amazed with what comes in after. When we finally make space, there is something that's like next level, and it is next level because it's for the next level of our soul evolution. Something incredible and magical and beautiful is going to come in. We just need to get rid of this shitty stuff first. And also I want to mention the date, March 14th of this year was the last time we had a Virgo eclipse, and any themes that came up around then are probably coming up around now. Things that you didn't sort with, you didn't deal with, you didn't wrap up. Any loose ends from March of this year is probably going to be similar to what's coming up for you right now. So I just wanted to say that. So have a look at what happened in the week the weeks around that date, March 14, and wrap up any loose ends that you need to, but in a careful, loving way. Do it with integrity, do it with wisdom. It's not about burning it all to the ground. That's when I say there's a big release happening, don't take it that way. We're doing it with integrity, we're doing it consciously, we're doing it with Saturn's support of discipline on our part, discipline on our own emotions or our own beliefs about the situation, when we're doing it in a wiser, more grown-up way, because that's what Saturn's all about. It's about being grown up, doing what serves for the best for everyone involved. And if that's letting go and moving on, that's what we have to do. And that will propel you forwards into this new chapter with some really good karma if you do it right. It's not about burning it all to the ground. And I'm telling myself that because I've been struggling with it. But when it's not about doing it fast, it's not about the quick fix, it's about doing it the right way. And do it once and you won't have to do it again. This is like the beauty of Saturn. If you can work with the energy of this, you do it once, it won't come back around again. This is like kind of the last thing you need to do is once you shed it in a beautiful way, in a loving way, you can step forward without the burden still kind of weighing in the background. You know, when you tell yourself you've healed from something, but deep down it's just you escaping and you lying to yourself, and you can still feel it kind of lingering. We don't want that after this eclipse season. We want it to be completely cleared and gone and clean slate. And for you to feel it in yourself, like, oh, actually, I don't have anything kind of lingering in the background. I don't have anything kind of lurking over me, any past pain or inner demons or these beliefs holding me back. Like, I actually feel kind of free. And that's what this eclipse is doing. It's giving us freedom in a painful way, because it doesn't feel like that right now, but I promise that's what's happening for us. It's so that when we get to that dream life, we don't have any like what ifs, or we don't have any doubts, and we don't have, and obviously these are normal human emotions. I'm not saying that they're not, but it's not going to be something that's so heavy that it stops us from living, and it stops us from acting from this soul-led, spirit-led kind of space that we're moving into now. We can't have the trauma or the pain or whatever it is holding us back anymore. We're going to step above it and be more powerful than that to get to the next chapter. So please get excited. I know this is a tricky eclipse. Let me know how it feels for you, because I'm struggling with it. But just reframe it that this is your rebuilding phase. This is a chance for you to build some really strong foundations with Saturn, and you're going to build something beautiful from that. So get keen. I love you guys.